Has that made it worse?
No, it's surely not the same.
It's very unhappy, this car.
Our biggest sale is now on the Auto Alex shop, where you'll get a massive 30% off using the code SPRING30.
Hello everyone, and welcome to a beautiful sunny day where you join me, Rory behind the camera, and his beautiful E46 330i manual touring. Now, this car was featured on the channel a little while ago. We actually supercharged this car. We fitted a VF supercharger to it. And since then, we haven't really seen it. It actually disappeared. We haven't done any content on this car at all. Rory has been very, very busy. He's done quite a lot to this car. So I'm going to give you a walk around as to what he's done to it. But there is a big problem with it because, Rory, this car did not make it here under its own steam, did it?
No, it did break down.
It got trailered here. Rory blew it up. No, he didn't actually blow it up.
No,
He's broken it.
I'll show you the clips of it breaking down. So yeah, it's very hesitant to rev. Not wanting to idle. And then yeah, it's obviously got a savage misfire as well. Let's get this back to the unit. We'll have a look at it and see what happens.
So it broke down. It's not very happy, but before we go into that, let me give you a walk around of what Rory's done to it, because you have been busy, haven't you, Rory? You've done quite a lot. You've done BBS CH wheels, which you actually nicked.
I did nick them off Barney.
Yeah, off of Barney, Alex's E46 Touring, which is currently still with Reedish being converted to a full M3 Touring.
It's actually nearly done.
It is nearly done, yeah, but it is without its wheels because you nicked them. Behind the wheels, we've got a set of Mitsubishi Evo brakes.
Yeah, they're off like an Evo 7, Evo 6. Bruno from BDS Motorsport does a little adapter so you can put them on.
It's been to Bruno at BDS's again for front lower arms,
rod bearings,
track rods, track rod ends,
oil filter housing gasket, rocker cover gasket, tuning obviously.
Tuning.
So yeah, last time, this car wasn't even tuned last time we drove this properly.
So last time we saw this, it had a bass tune on it. It was running very rich, which was a safe tune. It has been with Bruno for quite a while and it is currently producing, well not currently because it's broken, 330 brake horsepower, which is just over 100 more than it came with from factory. And it's
about the same as an E46 M3.
It's 10 horsepower less than the E46 M3, but I believe it's got slightly more torque. Might I add, it's made this car interesting because I'm not saying that these are boring, but standard E46 M54 engines are a little bit, don't hate me, little bit bland. So it's added a good amount of spice and jalapeno to the power, drivability and the sound of it. Moving down the side, you've had a lot of bodywork done to this car.
Yeah, so this car actually had, I would say, nearly a full respray. It had everything done except for the roof.
Yeah, it's had nearly a full respray. It's had all the arches done because they were all a bit rusty. Yeah. I used to own this car and Rory bought it off of me and I think I sold it to you on 170,000 miles.
It's now got 185.
It's a lot and it looks amazing. It looks really, really nice. Beautiful colour this. Is it Orient Blue?
Orient Blue, yeah.
Moving around the back, it needs new badges and number plates. But other than that, it looks pretty tidy. It looks as it was. You have still got the Scorpion full custom exhaust system.
Which sounds incredible.
Sounds so good. What else did Bruno fit? A 6-branch stainless steel tubular exhaust manifold,
yeah,
which adds to the noise of this car. And oh my god, I have heard it. Obviously, it doesn't work at the minute. I've heard it when it has been working, and genuinely, I'm going to say it, one of the best sounding straight sixes I've ever heard. Under here, although you know it's spec'd to be very good, it's currently not working. So we're going to plug the Carly into it and diagnose what is actually wrong with this car, and hopefully it's not too serious. Let's plug the Carly in and do a health check. See what's wrong with this car. So we're connected, and if we go into vehicle health check, we can see it says engine very bad. It also says that the engine has got 3 issues. If we have a look, we've got misfire cylinder 4, activation ignition cylinder 4, and we've got an air mass flow sensor fault in there as well. So thanks to the Carly health check, this has told me exactly where I need to start looking. I can also use it to unlock hidden features. Like for example, if I go into the light control module, click readout, I can go in here and activate things like the US side markers. And it's as simple as if I click here, for example, turn on, code now, wait for it to load, and my new hidden feature is unlocked. You can also enable things like double flashing hazards and audible locking at just the click of a button. So if you want to take back control of your car and unlock its hidden features, then Carly is the tool for you. I've been using Carly for years on personal vehicles, and what's more, if you want 15% off your Carly, use the code AutoAlexV2 at checkout. Right, let's get this in the unit.
Luckily, we also had Bruno from BDS Motorsport come down to help diagnose my car.
Now, according to what Rory said to me, when it went wrong, he was going up a hill and all of a sudden started going really lean. So it's some problem that has developed, that has caused it to go lean, that could potentially have caused bigger damage.
Because it's supercharged, it has an air-fuel ratio meter gauge in the glove box. And now the reason for that is because when you supercharge or boost a car, you need to keep an eye on your air-fuel ratio. If it runs too rich, you could foul up your plugs, you could glaze the balls, you could do damage in that way. If it runs too lean, the cylinders actually get a bit too hot. You can melt pistons and melt valves, which is exactly what I did in my R53 on the Autobahn at 140 miles an hour.
The thing that has to be done now is actually investigate what's wrong with the engine and then see what has caused the car to become lean. As Rory said, was driving normally, all of a sudden just start feeling the loss of power, and then he opened his glove box to check the AFR and he noticed it was abnormally lean.
Shall we start it up and have a listen to it first?
Let's go.
So it starts okay, but there's definitely a single cylinder misfire there. So one cylinder is definitely not firing. It's not a case of they're all firing but not quite at the right times or whatever. And also that it did struggle to idle a little bit there, but it's definitely a single cylinder misfire.
I think you need to hear the exhaust where you can tell, like, there's definitely a misfire here.
Yeah, you can actually hear that there's one single cylinder not firing by the bum, 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 bum. And sometimes on certain cars, when the exhaust isn't connected and it's two separate pipes that come down, you can actually tell what bank
this one is separate as well. This one has two separate lines. He doesn't have a cross pipe or anything.
So I think it's misfiring on this one, because if you look at my hand...
So this one is saying misfires on cylinder 4, so that would be connected to the cylinder 4.
What, this one?
Yeah. You can tell the way it's pulsing.
So, before I set off on my journey, I spoke to Edwin and Will from Top Dead Centre, and we took out every single spark plug, because we were trying to find out, at this time, it was just running lean. So we were just trying to figure out what it was. So we took out every single spark plug and oil patch. And I'm just wondering now, I wonder if one of them wasn't done up tightly enough.
I think they probably would have been. I don't think Edwin would leave a spark plug loose. Would you, Edwin?
Oh, so which one is cylinder 4 then?
It's the one that is disconnected. I literally, it's as I found.
Wait, let me just start it up, Bruno.
I haven't plugged it in yet.
Right.
I haven't touched it. And this one is also like
So if I just start this up. That's magic!
Just like magic. When you connect coil packs, they actually run on all 6s.
Well done, Bruno. You've cured the misfire.
But this one is not good. This one was going to go next, look. It's literally like, when they're proper clipped in, you don't push them like this and they open. So they literally go in and then they clip down.
So that solves the misfire, but we still need to check why it was running lean.
That's a easier problem to fix, because now we know the engine is good. I've had a case recently where I had bad reading from the FR. The thing is, I don't believe in your case it is, because you told me you felt a loss of torque and everything, so I'll have to inspect the full thing, but I got the equipment to do the logs and to see what's happening. So then we go and work from there. But the fact we now have an engine running on all 6s, it's good news. I think the reason why it was not pushed in properly is because, as you mentioned, it was done with the strut brace in place. Therefore, covers the view for you to see if the plug is fully in or not. We didn't have the strut brace right in front of us as I pulled it off. This is why I looked at it and I said, I think I found the problem. If you have it in, it's harder for you to get to it to see if the plug is proper in.
What about cylinder 1 then?
That I cannot explain. I'm still going to pull a plug off and have a look at it, see how it's looking in terms of coloration and stuff. So, and then we go from there.
With the spark plugs pulled out, we could see a lot of darkness on them, indicating that the engine was probably running really rich.
But with the misfire now cured, Bruno suspected the problems to be caused by a faulty mass airflow sensor. So that senses the amount of air being sucked into your engine. It then gets burnt by the spark plugs and your injectors inject fuel. And then when the gases that have been burnt come out of your exhaust, it gets measured by something called a wideband, which is an oxygen
on this car, it's
sensor.
actually narrowband.
Okay, narrowband.
So it's an oxygen sensor.
It's an oxygen sensor, and what that does is senses the amount of oxygen in the exhaust, and what that then tells the ECU how much oxygen and how much carbon monoxide are in those exhaust gases, which then converts into air-fuel ratio. The ideal perfect air-fuel ratio is 14 parts of air to 1 part of fuel. This car was running about 17 parts of air to 1 part of fuel, which means it had too much air, not enough fuel.
Actually is 14.7 to 1. Because it has a supercharger, the way we actually tuned it, this was running an AFR of 11.5 to keep the things cool, to avoid things from melting.
So it's actually running rich.
It's running rich for protection, which is something that is very common to do on any boosted car. On the cruise, when the engine is not in load and stuff, that's when it can run the air-fuel ratio that Taylor was mentioning. Either way, the AFR that Rory has seen was over 17, which is extremely lean.
We've got 3 potential issues here. It's either that this engine is running too lean, which is really dangerous. It could do internal damage to the engine. The airflow meter is faulty, which is causing that. We've got a fuel issue that could be causing that, or it could be a faulty oxygen sensor, which is providing an incorrect reading to the AFR gauge. Now that we've sorted the misfire out, is to go up the road in it with the laptop plugged in and see how it's running, basically. Read all of the data, see how it's running, and then come back and assess what the plausibilities are as to what the running issue is. So we took the car for a quick spin up the road, and Bruno confirmed the AFR was in fact reading incredibly lean. So back to the unit to look further into the mass sensor. So this is the mass airflow sensor. So what are we looking for here, Bruno? How does this actually work?
So this has that sensor inside, and that's what reads the volume of air going through it. Can be the thing that it's dirty, it has some debris, it's not reading properly. Sometimes it's the circuit itself that just stops working well. Sometimes it's just like dirt, debris. Can be, especially with a filter like this, and with a supercharger, it's going to suck most of the things in.
So let's give this a little clean with some brake cleaner. And then what do we do? Just refit it and then recheck it?
And then see what it does. So yeah, let's look at it.
After giving the mass sensor a thorough clean, we reinstalled it, but may have done more harm than good.
Has that made it worse?
No, it's surely not the same. No, it's cammed. There's definitely a problem somewhere.
Sounds good. Well, let me have a look at that. Whoa! I think we've gone the other way a bit.
Now we come to read the sensor, says it's super lean. You wouldn't have that in your eyes. We can tell it's rich, and there it says 22. So there's a problem on the sensor as well that is reading the AFR. Because now you can smell how rich it is. You cannot say it's not rich.
I can
and
see.
there says it's 17, which is super lean.
Very unhappy, this car. Right, so as a little bit of an update, we've had, well, Bruno has had more of a look at the car and diagnosed it as a MAF, but we feel that because the MAF is quite expensive and because it's supercharged, it will probably kill them again in the future, we're gonna look into going down the standalone ECU route. So Rory's asked Jake, our friend at ASD Tuning, about how much it's gonna cost for a standalone ECU and an adapter. While we wait to hear back from him, we're gonna crack on with some other bits, aren't we, Bruno? So you're doing brakes because there's a slight squeaking / binding issue on this caliper, and Rory's got some new red stuff EBC pads because the other pads on track, when you took this on track, got a little bit hot, didn't they? We're gonna put a new fog light in it, some new badges, some new number plates, just tidy it up because it needs a little bit of love, a little bit of Tyler loving care. Brand new. This is all bubbling up, looks. It's deglazing. So I'm going to remove the old one. Have you got some stickies, Rory?
Yeah.
You've done a good job sticking that on. That wasn't hard, was it? Now, I've never actually fitted a rear badge on one of these, which is a bit unusual. Best thing to do is to open it and have a look at how the new one is going to go on. So looking at this, it's got 2 little pins and some double-sided sticky. So this will pop off. So I'm going to get a plastic trim remover so I don't scratch the paint. Pop that off, clean all this muck up, and then stick the new plate and the new badge on. And that'll be brand new.
Bruno then managed to find the source of the brake binding problem. Turns out there was just a bit of corrosion in the caliper, causing the pads not to be able to slide back and forth correctly.
And while he was sorting that, I cleaned up under the badge, sprayed over the teeny bit of rust, got the new reg plate on and stuck that new badge on. If it's wonky, it's tough shit, because it's on there now. Look at that lovely little repair.
It's like I've got a bit of modern art on the back of
Isn't
my car.
it? One. That is nice.
Oh.
Wow. This works really well. This is cool. I never seen this tool. Neo tools, big shout. Go like that. And voila. Just been off to the machine shop to machine the hubs. No, but generally it just cleans everything instantly. I like when it goes in and out like this.
And the other thing that we have to change, actually,
is not only the engine oil, but the supercharger oil. And that is drained through this little tube here. So that little tube points down and pokes out through the undertray, and the oil drains out of there. And then when it's finished draining, we put this little plug back in, and then we fill it up through this little brass
what oil do we
thing
put in
here.
there?
It takes ATF. There it is, one oil filter, and it actually looks all right. If they bow in at the middle and they look all wavy and bowed in, that usually means they're collapsing and they're blocked up, but this one actually looks all right. New oil filter on. I've fitted a new O-ring, give it a little bit of oil on the seal. I've also finished draining the supercharger oil and I've refitted the under tray. So we are going to fill the supercharger back up with oil as well. This is the oil that I drained out of the supercharger. There's not a lot, it doesn't take a lot. It's ATF, it looks all right actually. It looks pretty red in there, how it should be. But I'm going to drain this, put some fresh in here, and then pop it in that little hole in the top. So that's the supercharger oil now in. I'm just going to nip up this little fill plug. Now remember, Rory, next time we do this supercharger oil, I think we need to replace this plug. The E46 is back and we've diagnosed it as a faulty airflow meter. We have a replacement item. We're going to fit this airflow meter and hopefully it will solve all of our issues. But we have realised another problem with this high mileage E46, and that is that the battery is not being charged correctly. It was coming up with a low voltage fault on the AFR gauge, funny enough, and the battery light was flickering on and off here and there. Carly and a voltmeter are both showing that this is giving us low voltage. So we suspect it's going to be an alternator issue, which is fantastic because
I have bought an alternator. Oh, look at it, Tay.
So yeah, Rory, if you'd just like to pop that in.
Yeah, the alternator is there.
Some absolute plum has gone and put an alternator in the way, sorry,
Look.
supercharger in the way of an alternator.
Look, I will admit, this has now turned a job that probably would have taken, what, an hour?
About an hour.
Into something that could now take the whole day.
Join us as we fit this alternator. As Rory fits the alternator.
No. Look, I maybe could have done it if it was just...
I tell you what, you do it and I'll fit the airflow meter, because that's quite
No,
hard.
I can do the airflow meter, and then...
Oh, so I see how it is. I'll tell you what, I'll do the alternator, you can fit that, and you can buy lunch.
I also do have new brake discs as well.
You can fit those.
We haven't even actually taken anything apart yet.
Well, no, I've just taken...
But I've just discovered something delivers here, and it's Taylor's favourite.
Oh, I do like Wagamama's.
Look what's happened here today. We're ordering food.
on our
Well.
You'll find out why and why this is actually really helpful for us very soon.
Should arrive today.
Make sure you get that number up if you could, please.
Yeah, my big order going.
Pushing it up.
So I have ordered lunch, removed the fan to gain access to the auxiliary belt system, and now I'm just assessing the situation. The situation is not good, and that is because it's really in the way, this supercharger. So I'm actually going to have to take the entire thing off. This is the bracket that the alternator is mounted to, this big black bracket here, and it actually, this pulley is actually one of the alternator bolts, so that holds the alternator in. That's the alternator there, and that bracket actually wraps around the alternator. It goes the whole way around it, which is fabulous. So I am actually going to have to take the entire thing off. It goes all the way down there.
Should we take pictures of this so we know how it goes back together?
No.
I'm going to take pictures.
No.
I'm taking pictures of this.
Okay. I also had to drain the coolant so that we could remove the expansion tank, which was also in the way of the alternator. And now we have so much more access to this supercharger / auxiliary belt system. This is the massive bracket that holds the supercharger on, which we need to take off. So I'm going to start by undoing the intake pipe here with the air filter attached, because we need to take that off anyway to replace the airflow meter. And then I'm going to take the auxiliary belt off and then look at moving it. I might not take it fully out, I might just try and move it out of the way just so we can access that alternator. In the meantime, Rory, I'd like you to go and open the boot and disconnect the negative terminal on the battery, please.
Negative disconnected.
There we go. One intake pipe, there's a little bit of oil in there, so we'll give that a clean out as well. That's been dented in a bit, Rory, was that you? So now that we can access the supercharger itself, what I need to do is take off this pipe here. Now this is the high pressure side, so this goes from the bottom of the supercharger into the intake of the engine, and then I'm going to work on the front. I'm going to take the belt off and then hopefully just take the whole supercharger off. There we go, one belt removed.
How's the belt looking then?
It looks all right. There's no age-related cracking, there's no signs of overheating, no slippage. You can still read the writing on it. Looks good. So I need to undo that. I need to undo this here. God, I really didn't want this supercharger to come off.
You did a good job, but it has not
I
come off.
did a good job, yeah. One bolt. That's a large bolt.
That is a big bolt.
So this entire supercharger, I actually forgot, is only held on with 2 bolts.
So for those of you wondering why it looks like a turbo, it is still a supercharger, but it's a central fuel supercharger, which is pretty much a turbo, but driven by belt insteed of exhaust.
It's like deja vu, that, because I literally took one of these off of a car yesterday for my own channel on a 540i.
Now we had access to the alternator to replace it, Taylor made a discovery that potentially meant all of this was for nothing.
I'm not shitting you. I am genuinely, I promise you, I'm not shitting you now. Has anyone taken this alternator off?
No.
I just moved the alternator and the power cable fell off of the back of it because there is no nut on it whatsoever.
Might as well put the new one
We'll put the new one on anyway. I'm genuinely, I swear on my life.
Oh, come on!
I did not disturb that, that's how it was. That nut is it's literally not there. I wonder if it's sat somewhere. Who knows? We'll change it anyway. We now know that there was nothing wrong with the alternator.
No, we'll never know. We will never know.
There's a top tip for you. If you ever have an electrical issue or an alternator issue, check the connections first. Rory's been on Amazon. Look at that. Nice new little set of nuts and bolts. Let's have a look. And look at that. Shall we put it back on? Right, that's tight for reference. You got that? If it comes loose, whoa. Now I need to reinstall this little thing. This is a cooler for the, for the alternator. I probably should have put it on before I put the alternator in its hole, but there we are, you know, such is life. I'm gonna reinstall the supercharger. Now this bit's a bit of a faff because the bolts that hold the supercharger on are also the bolts that hold the alternator on. So I need to sort of line it up and then thread it all through and try not to get it on the piss. Oh, this is unreal. Who said modifying cars was fun?
I think we've said it a few
We
times.
have said it a couple of times. And all I need to do now is put the belt on, the expansion tank back in, the fan back in, and then I can run it up, lead the cooling system, and hopefully it will now be charging and it will be happy. But before then, Rory, could I please have the picture of the auxiliary belt layout?
Oh.
I can't remember how it goes.
Oh, that's funny, because
Look, I could work it out, but it would be easier and less time consuming if you just show me the picture. Thank you very much.
And after a couple of minutes routing the belt around, we were nearly there, putting the 330i back together again.
So that means that the belt is now on. So all we need to do now is put the expansion tank back in. I need to put the intake pipes back on. We also need to fit the new airflow meter when we put that intake pipe back on, and then just bleed it out and run it up. With the air pipe off, I was able to remove the old faulty mass sensor and fit the new one. I like to put the clips around the same way because I'm a bit OCD. This is ready to refit to the car, and then we need to tighten up this jubbly clip, this jubbly clip, this jubbly clip, this jubbly clip, and then we should be able to start it. And with those jobs done, the 330i was nearly complete and ready for the road again. So this is now all done. Both discs are on, that front wheel bearing's been replaced, the alternator's been replaced, the belt is all back on. All we need to do now is start it up, bleed it, and then go for a drive. But before that, we need to plug the car in and clear all the low voltage codes that this car has. We've touched the brakes. What is the first thing we need to do, Rory?
pump the brakes.
Pump the pedal. I'm gonna pump the pedal, start it up, make sure it runs all right, make sure it actually idles now, because remember it wasn't idling before. And Rory, you're gonna be my eyes and just make sure the belt doesn't fly off.
Okay.
Just in case I don't know, a little bit wrong. Ready?
We forgot one thing.
Rory, could you reconnect the battery, please? Have you got it?
Yep.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, it's got an idle.
It's got an idle. That runs a lot smoother already. Should we check the voltage? That's more like it.
That's a strong alternator, isn't it? 14.
It's amazing that, isn't it? Anyone would think it was new.
And now my AFR gauge should work as well.
15. That seems pretty happy, doesn't it? Obviously, it'll be a little bit higher
Oh, there you
because
go.
it's
Now
on cold
dropping
start.
down. Yeah.
I'd say that's pretty damn good, Rory.
We'll take that.
We'll take that. All we need to do now is go out for a drive. Do you remember, Rory, the day that you bought this car from me?
I do. I pulled up and there was this car that looked like the most disgusting E46 that I'd ever
So
seen.
grim. This door card here was literally black.
It was black.
It was so dirty in this car, it was vile. That was a couple of years ago now, wasn't it, Rory?
Yeah, and now it's had a lot of work put into
You've
it.
put a lot of work into it. It's been on a proper journey with you, hasn't it?
It has, yeah.
And is it safe to say that you formed quite a bond with this car?
There has been times where I've ummed and ahed about selling it,
Yeah.
but then I go out for a little drive in it, and to be honest, I then just think, no, I'm not selling this.
And the interior of this one is really nice. I've had quite a lot of E46s over the years. This is the highest spec E46, not just 330, E46 I've ever seen.
And that is because of this. Wait.
It's got the phone.
It's got the BMW phone. Now, people who know E46s will know how rare this is to have a BMW phone in an E46.
It's incredible how well spec'd it is. It had factory nav, it's got heated seats, it's got Harman Kardon.
TV.
It's got the TV, it's got folding mirrors, sunroof, factory xenons.
Do you want to try your first proper acceleration in this car?
I'm going to give it a bit of joie de vivre.
Yeah.
Ooh! Wow, that pulls really well, especially right up in the rev range.
Well, you didn't even get up in the rev range.
I did, I got to 5.5.
No, the supercharger only kicks in around about 4.
Oh,
So this goes all the way to 7,400 now.
oh wow, that's a lot. Not only that, it sounds amazing. It's got a really nice deep 6-cylinder burble to it. It's not like an E46 M3, they're quite tinny.
No.
This is really deep and it doesn't drone, but oh my god, this is actually really fast.
You still didn't get to the rev limiters.
This is really fast. I think top end, this is faster than an E46 M3.
This is what everyone keeps saying. So me and Alex obviously have this bet. I think this car is going to be quicker than an M3. And so does Bruno.
I think top end, this feels quicker than an M3.
Yeah, and also it has that grunt, right? Like if you keep it up in the rev range, I don't think he would stand a chance. I think he'll beat me off the line, but
I don't know.
But I think this will be a bit quicker.
It's there. Oh! Wow! This is blowers. This is actually legit fast. So there we have it. It's another unusual cars from our collection of ridiculous tap put back on the road and made even better than it was before. I hope you've all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you for the next one.